What is up, guys? It's Mikey with Man Meat Barbecue. So just a little bit of an intro today with today's show. We got to talk to Tim Shelburn. Super fucking cool dude. Great guy. If you don't follow him on Instagram, it's T Shelburn. He posts some fucking badass photos of some food. And we got to chatting, and we went for quite a while. We went for a little bit over an hour. This man is awesome. If you don't follow him, you need to go follow him. He posts some badass foods. He gives us, I get inspiration from him all the time on cool cooking ideas and all that kind of fun stuff. So I just want to say, go follow him. Go check his food out and all that. So since we did that, since we got this little intro out of the way, what I would like to say is, obviously this is the Man Meat Barbecue podcast, and we really could use a little bit of your help, guys. Go to iTunes and help us out, and give us, a good 5 stars, and review us. We're just trying to, go a little bit up that ladder, make more people find this kick-ass show. You know what I mean? Also, so if you want to be on the show, which I'm encouraging all my backyard barbecuers and anyone that cooks, dude, come on the show, talk to us. We're not like the other damn barbecue podcasts. We don't need just the pros. We want to talk to the backyard dudes. We want to talk to you guys. We want to know what you're cooking on, how you're cooking it, and all that kind of. If you want to be on the show, email us. But till then, guys, go listen to this awesome podcast. What's up, guys? Tonight we get to, actually not tonight, most of these podcasts come out in the morning, and I don't know what time you listen to them. I really don't care, as long as you're listening to them. So today we have the pleasure of chatting with Tim Shelburn. Am I saying your last name right?
Yep, that's correct.
Awesome, cool. So if you guys don't follow him on Instagram, you need to. He posts some awesome photos of food, probably some of the best lighting I've ever seen, which I now know why. He has this beautiful light right by his leg. He's a lucky, lucky man. And me and Tim are pretty similar in the sense that you cook on a large and on a mini max, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
yep.
And I cook on the extra large and on the mini max. I just purchased the mini max a little bit ago, which I'm super stoked about. I'm super excited about it. It's a great little unit. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I love mine.
What made you buy yours?
Well, I just everyone else was doing it. Is that what everyone's saying? I don't know. I had always kind of wanted a second one just because having the large and cooking almost every night, I always felt like I needed more space. I needed one for, let's say, sides. That's kind of, my thing. It's like if I'm going all in and I'm cooking outside, I want to do everything. I don't want to cook part of it inside or have to stage, like cook proteins, let those sit. Cook the vegetables, and then try to time everything. So For me, it's just kind of being able to do everything at the same time and get the food finished at the same time. And that's kind of a big deal for me.
That's kind of why I got mine. I also looked at it as, if you want to do like reverse sear on steaks, it's just easier to have 2 going. If I want to cook just something small just for, myself, and it's, just something really small, I don't have to fire up my XL. I can just fire up the Mini Max and get it all done.
Yeah, exactly. And last night I got home, I play ice hockey, and so sometimes on hockey night I don't actually get to cook. And so last night I had an early game, so I was fortunate enough, and what I like about the Mini Max is, it doesn't take very long to get up to temperature, and it doesn't use hardly any charcoal.
Yeah.
And so last night I was like, well, I'm just going to throw some, little lamb chops on there and go. And, and I was done in 15 minutes. So,
yeah,
and that's another thing for me. And it's for those small items, chicken breast or, a pork tenderloin or, like the lamb I did last night, it's perfect for that, especially if you're only feeding, like, say, yourself and your wife or whatever. It's just super easy.
Yeah, it makes life a little bit easier. And like you said, it doesn't go through as much charcoal. It is
hardly, and the stuff I am cooking, like, say, the chickens, and it's not like, when I'm cooking these things in the evenings during the week, it's only, it's a small, it's grilling more or less. It's not a low and slow. So you barely use any charcoal, and that's what I love it. So, I'll fill that thing up to the top of the bowl, right below the grate almost. And I may not fill it again until the end of the week.
Yeah.
If that. So. And
I believe you posted this photo, and if you guys have seen it, I thought it was funny on Instagram. The kind of when you own a Minimax, you gotta learn how to play Tetris with it. For putting in that lump charcoal in there to make sure that you get the most in it, and make sure there's still that good airflow.
Well, yeah,
I thought that was a great photo.
Well, yeah, it's. I learned that about the second cook, and because normally you just throw it in, it's kind of just thrown in there. Everything's everywhere in the large egg or your larger eggs.
Yep.
And I noticed in the Minimax, it's like I am going to do, and see, I hadn't tried that. I was going to do a brisket on it. So I had a smaller brisket, and it was a flat, and I'm like, I need to get as much charcoal in here as I can. This thing's going to go all day, and you've got, this tiny amount. It's like 1.5 cubic feet or something.
Yeah, you can only put so much in there.
And so as I was looking at it, I was like, I've got to start moving these pieces exactly like Tetris. And Craig had said something about that, Big Green Craig. And, we just kind of laughed about it. And after that cook, this particular person said, it's like BS. There's no way you cooked all day and you had that much charcoal left. We're like, yeah, if you load it right, like Tetris, it's going to work. So
yeah, I mean, if you got to look at it. If you throw a huge piece at the bottom that takes up, a good amount of room, and then another big piece lands on it incorrectly, you're taking up space that is just oxygen. There's nothing there.
Yeah, and you almost have to just place them in there. And that goes for the wood chunks too. So you've got the wood chunks you have to place anyway down on the bottom, and then you have to place these pieces around. So yeah, you don't necessarily need the best lump in the world to go into your Minimax because it's going to be too big.
Yeah.
So you kind of want pieces that are 3 to 4 inches or whatever. And this bag I had this week actually had pieces up around 8 or 9 inches. So those wouldn't fit in Minimax unless you break them.
Yeah.
So
now, speaking of lump charcoal, is there a specific brand of lump charcoal you like to use?
I have been using Royal Oak quite a bit just because it's cheap. You can get the large bag at Walmart around here is I think they had it going for $7 recently.
Oh, whatever.
And I bought quite a few.
Oh.
Yeah. And
I wish it was $7 here.
Yeah, and we are really close to Bentonville, which is the capital of Walmart. So there are probably 12 Walmarts in our town or more, and so it's always in stock. And I found out recently as well that there is a Royal Oak factory, 40 miles south of here. So we may be just getting stuff, from a local,
local
Royal Oak factory. Yeah.
Yeah, you're all local, which is perfect.
Yeah, and so it's been fine. And there's a couple others. Ozark Oak has been really good. I kind of mix it up here and there. I don't really get the same stuff every time. If I see something new, I'll get it and try it out. I have one right now that's it's called the Good Stuff that I've been using this week, and it was a 20-pound bag for $19, and it was okay at first because I was using the little the match lighter sticks, those little swipe giant match, and so I was using those, and it was lighting okay. And then later in the week, when I had my loop lighter out, I tried to light it with the loop lighter, and it wouldn't light
at all.
No, you have to like find the sweet spot on the lump to get it to light. And I don't know if it's too dense, if there's not enough pores in it. Like, I don't know what wood it's made out of, but it would not light. I mean, you have to really like find a sweet spot on the lump to get it to spark. And so I don't know what the deal is with that. And then it also will completely burn up every time, even though you close it off. It doesn't
itself out.
Nope. So I probably won't buy it again. But I feel like you're doing like a review for them or something, but it's
Hey, it's great to know. Like if it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just mix it up.
Now you said you have a loop lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use that primarily, or do you go back and forth between like the matchsticks or anything else? Like what's your favorite way to lighten that egg?
I primarily the loop lighter. That's what I've been using since I bought it. Really, I kind of just do the matchsticks whenever I am like during the day, because this canopy that I'm under is you have to turn everything on to power up the loop lighter. And, I have basically the setup that I have is my patio and all this stuff I have outside is on one switch. So during the day, I have to turn on all my lights everywhere in order for me to use the loop lighter. So it's kind of like during the day, it's daylight out. I don't have to have these lights on. I'll use the matchsticks, but normally the loop lighter.
Okay. Yeah, I've never.
Kind of sometimes,
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure of using a loop lighter, so I do need to get a hold of one of them. I think I will soon.
I really like using it. I kind of bought one early, right after they kind of caught on, and they started to become popular. I bought one, and I burned off the end of it. It's made out of, there's an aluminum alloy shield around the outside, and I've actually melted that off of the entire outside end of this loop lighter. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if that affects its ability to heat up the coals or not. I don't know. But I've pretty much destroyed it. I leave it outside all the time. I left it out during the winter. These are all things that they recommend you do not do. And
on the box it says "Don't do." Tim, do not do, and you're like, well,
it says not to leave it outside. Now, it was not in the elements, so I don't know. Well, it didn't get wet.
I know when we talked to Big Green Craig, he says that his does not get unplugged, so I would imagine his stays outside all year round. Granted, that me and you go through a little bit different in weather.
Well, here lately, Atlanta has been getting the winter precipitation, the ice and the snow. So
slightly, yes, and they're all freaking out.
But yeah, we had a pretty cold winter, and I cooked year round. I don't stop, and I was fortunate enough to have a covered patio. So during that time, I was underneath an overhang and was shielded a bit. It was cold, but
But it was still It was still doable.
Yeah. No problem.
I totally understand. Mine is not shielded. I get to stand outside when it's snowing and sleeting on me, and firing up the egg. But that's okay. It's great. I'm just happy that the egg holds so nicely in the winter. It just holds. Yeah. You can still do long smokes. You can still do all of that crazy stuff, and it holds very nicely. Which there's not too many cookers that do.
And I was listening to one of your other podcasts. I think it was Ren's, and I think it was talking about his steel.
He has
barrel ad, and he the wind affects the metal on those things.
Yeah,
and it'll cause it to cool down and whatever. And in my winter setup, I had to point a fan at my egg in order to get the smoke out of my room I was in. So I had a fan going all the time just to blow the smoke out of that thing. So I'm lucky to have an egg, I guess. So I have to deal with these temperature influxes.
We are lucky to have eggs, absolutely. Now, you did obviously you did the Egg Fest last year with that nice dream team that you guys had down there. What was that like? What was it like cooking next to Matt Pittman of Meat Church and cooking next to Big Green Craig?
That was so amazing. I was so happy that I was able to do that. And it's just like this last year and a half. I've only had my egg for a year and a half, if that, like a year and 3 to 4 months. And so basically, once I was on Instagram since who knows when, 2010 or whatever, and we kind of met each other through Instagram. That's how we got to know each other. And then one day I ordered some Meat Church rubs, and then we just kind of spawned from there. And we, and from there it's like, they saw what I was doing, and cooking online, cooking every day, and just doing what I do. And I got a message from Craig one day. He's like, "Man, I want you to come down and be on our team." And I was like floored. I'm like, "What?" I was so excited. I was pumped. I was like telling everybody I knew. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do this cook down in Atlanta." It was just so exciting.
And everyone was like, "Awesome. What?"
Yeah. Like, what? My coworkers are cool because they kind of know, have seen what I've been doing. But yeah, so they invited me down, and it was just so surreal because I drove down from Springfield. So, it's, I forget how many miles, 1,200 miles or whatever it is. And I get there, and I'm going to Craig's house, and he's late, like 45 minutes to an hour late, because he had to go get Matt at the airport, and it was late. So I'm just sitting there in my car, and I'm like, man. So I was just building, and then I see him pull up, and I'm like, it's like meeting a celebrity or something. It was so weird, but it's kind of surreal, and I already felt like I knew him though, and so basically what happens, we got down there, and then like that day we're like, okay, here's the plan. This is what we're doing. We're going to, and then we just got to work, and it was pretty cool. It was quite an event, man. All day long, we served food to everybody. And luckily, we had a really good team. Everybody kind of had their positions, knew what they were doing. I was supposed to be kind of managing sushi rolls, rolling sushi rolls, because I've done it quite a bit, the last few years or whatever. And so I kind of ended up, being like I kind of oversaw everything. I was like the manager or something, I was like, okay, we need this here. We need this many, I was like I forget what they call it in chef terms, but anyway, so I was kind of the expediter.
Kind of like a sous chef almost? No.
Yeah,
almost.
I was kind of managing some of the rice, and I was helping. I was like, what do you guys need? What do you guys need? We need this over here. And so it was kind of cool, I kind of played that role and everything, but it was so surreal the whole time. It's like, it was done before I knew it. But, and it was so quick, and, because basically like we were done, and go back to the hotel. We kind of partied a little bit, but I had to get up at, I got up at like 5 a.m. to drive back home because I had to work the next Monday or whatever.
Oh, fun.
So I didn't really like do anything Saturday night. Everybody's kind of partying and stuff. So I was like, I can't really drink that much. Can't really, so I was kind of like,
Yeah, towards the end, I have to drive 12 hours.
I was kind of bummed because, I had to drive home the next day or whatever. But I will be driving down this time, this coming fall again. My wife will be with me this time, so that should be fun. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I can't make it this year, which I want to be able to make it down to one of the ones in Atlanta. I know it's a crazy egg fest. I should be at. This podcast will actually come out after that, but it'll come out right after this. I should be at the Indianapolis podcast or Indianapolis Egg Fest, which is I believe Big Green Craig will be there, and then I will also be doing. I'm gonna be cooking the Fort Wayne one.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
What are some tips you would give for cooking there?
You know what I think. One of the biggest, that was the first time I'd ever done it. I've got a few more, cooks coming up now, in the next few weeks. But that was kind of my first thing. And I, when I was, growing up, like, in high school, whatever, I always worked in a restaurant. That was kind of my thing. Worked at McDonald's, worked at Burger King, whatever. And so, and I've always been kind of a very task oriented person. So I need to know, And like I was saying, I was micromanaging everybody more or less. I'm like, what do you need? I think it's order. You need to know exactly where everything is, the cook times for everything, where it's at, how many minutes out, are you running low where, you're serving stuff out front, that kind of stuff. I think that's, just keep the people that are voting on your food happy, and I think that's just the biggest thing. Is just keep the food going. Don't burn anything. Just trying to manage everything. I think is just time management is probably a good thing.
So let's talk a little bit about you getting into cooking. So you've said you've owned your egg about 2 years now.
Yeah, roughly a year and a half. Yeah.
What were you cooking on beforehand?
I have always had propane grills. I actually have one sitting next to me now that I get made fun of for. But I started cooking on a propane grill probably when I moved out of my. Well, no, that was charcoal. Probably when I bought my first house in 2005. I bought a 3-burner grill, and I just would cook on it every day, almost just like I do now. Before that, I think right as soon as I moved out of my parents' house when I was 18, and I've just always been interested in it because my parents were interested in it. I bought a little Smoky Joe, little Weber, like the little bitty thing, It's like whatever, 13 inches or whatever it is, and I'd always just kind of cooked on that. It's just something I've always done. I've always loved food. I've always cooked. And it's just something I love, And I also, to kind of go back in there, I worked at a food advertising agency for 10 years, doing IT work. And during that time, I had to help set up for photo shoots for food photography and kind of help assist with that kind of stuff.
So this is where your not fairness of having really good food photography comes in.
Yeah, well, maybe. It's just, I was around it a lot, and I just kind of always had an eye for that. At that office, we had, this was 2003, 2004, kind of when the DSLRs were coming out, the really nice cameras. Mm-hmm. And our office had one. And I would take it home and learn how to use it for work, and just I would take pictures of food because I always had food around. And so that's just kind of how that all started, way back, like 10 years ago. I would use this with all the different lenses. I'd get the macro lens out and get up real close and just kind of, just see what I could do with the camera. And so that's kind of where all that started. So between that, just cooking all the time, period, it's more of like a impress your girlfriend kind of thing,
Let me cook for you. Yeah,
let me cook for you, and then I'm going to take a picture and then ruin everything. No.
Yeah. Hold on, before you eat that, let me take a picture of that. Hold on, wait. I have to share this.
Yeah, I have to take a photo. Well, you can't share it. Back then you couldn't share anything. So
yeah,
you would
back
take a
then
picture
it was a little bit different. Yeah,
and you would put it on MySpace. So
exactly, yes. You're like, here's my food tonight, and then people were like, I don't know why you posted that.
Why are you? You printed this out and put it on my desk? What?
Yeah, Instagram has been a great hero to us. It's really given us. It's given foodies in general a very good. Outlook and kind of like just somewhere to post your food. You know what I mean? And the food photography you're doing and the food that you're making it's awesome, guys. If you've never checked his food out, you got to go to his Instagram page and check that out. He posts some awesome food. I mean, the other night you were making tacos, and you were doing the taco shells by yourself. It's just the stuff he makes. It's not your run of the mill. Hey, I'm throwing 2 steaks on the grill tonight. He really does make a culinary art out of his food. It really is, like, your food is culinary art, and it's kind of funny. I use your page a lot for inspiration. I literally go, I'm like, well, what's Tim cooking today?
And you're not the only one.
And I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna cook that.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I'm trying not to cook. I know, everyone's going to be mad at me, but I'm trying not to cook as much here lately because it is getting warmer. I'm going to be outside more, and so a lot of the stuff that I cook is really elaborate and takes a lot of time. And I'm not going to have that this summer, so I might not cook as much during the week, but we'll see how it goes. If I could figure out some kind of speed cooking, with the egg, I'm going to do that. Maybe some kind of Rachel Ray 30-minute meal thing or something. I don't know, but
there you go. It'll be Tim Shelburn 30-minute egg meals.
And it does take so much time, and I post my pictures really late. A lot of times, everyone's like, "Are you eating this late? What's going on?" And not always. A lot of times, we will eat around 9:30.
Okay.
In the evening, excuse me, and I'll keep posting until I go to bed because I've taken so many throughout the process, and so and a lot of people will wait until I post that last picture, because they kind of see the progression as I go, and everybody's like, oh, come on, I can't wait, I post the next picture. And so I don't like to post every picture all at once. I don't want to post them, every 5 minutes. I wait 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour before I'll post the next one, just to kind of, not to flood the feed. So every time you go there, you're just like, oh gosh, they're all, you'll lose followers that way if you constantly posting 25 pictures in a row or something, because I'll unfollow people. And so I kind of space them out. And to go back to that, like, what am I cooking? I noticed that I'll do stuff, and then 2 or 3 or 4 days later, I'll see the same thing I cooked show up in someone else's feed. And then, a whole rash of like large burgers will show up. And then I did the pizza baked spaghetti in the cast iron. Mm-hmm. And then 3 or 4 or 5 people started doing that, and so it's kind of cool, Craig does the same thing. He and I do very similar things, and like, outside the box kind of cooking. And, just like, the egg, they say the egg can cook anything. So we're going to do that. And,
why not push its limits?
Yeah. And so, and that's kind of what we do. And it's just, it's like, I do have a lot of fans that way. You're like, oh, and then, they'll do what I do. And, I just like helping too. That's kind of my other thing is, I'll get a lot of questions. How did you do this? What temp and all that? So
now when you're, let's talk a little, that's a great segue. Let's talk about temps. When you're going low and slow, are you a 225, 250 kind of guy? And I kind of know the answer to this, but it's because I stalk your Instagram page.
And you see me shaking my head, yes.
Exactly. And I see you shaking your head, yes. But so you're 225, 250. Yeah, pretty much. When I start something low and slow, it's going to be a weekend thing, and I am not looking to do it fast. Now, I have done them turbo style, like Craig's, does with his Craig's new thing, doing turbo style butts,
pork butts, and they turn out really good. That's a really good way to do them as well. But I would do that during the week for sure. But on the weekend, it's like, I have nothing else to do. This thing is just going to sit here at 225, 250 all day anyway. Yeah. I'm just let it go. And, I just, and the same with the briskets, just let it go. When it finishes, it finishes. I a lot of times will cook those not to eat the same day. Okay. I cook those for lunches for the week or whatever. So it's not really, that I have to have something low and slow done the same day, typically. So, and I do use a water pan, to go ahead and bring that up.
I'm a water pan kind of guy too, and
and it's kind of, and one of the reasons that I use the water pan is, it's not that it necessarily is putting moisture into the air per se. Is that if you don't have anything underneath that indirect plate setter, everything that drops onto that is going to burn, and all that smoke, that nasty smoke, is going to get right back up into the meat.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my thing, is like, if it's dripping into water, then it's not burning and producing this
carcinogens.
Yeah, just this foul smoke that's going to put that flavor back into the food.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I've also been putting, I put onions in there. I'll put apple juice with the water. I'll put apple cider vinegar in there. I've put beer in there before. It's not just that. It's also adding other stuff into the air.
Flavors, yeah.
It's not just water. And, well, like one of your other podcasts, you talked about, Myron Mixon doing that. And
yeah.
And putting oranges and lemons and various things into the water, and I've been doing that too. And it's not a the safety blanket or anything like that. It's just, I just think that it just keeps it from just bad smoke from coming out of the egg. And
yeah.
Foul smells. I want my food to smell good when I walk by my egg.
Exactly. Now, what kind of wood are you using?
I have, I think, 5 or 6 kinds of wood right now.
Do you have a favorite?
I use apple and hickory a lot.
Okay.
Mostly because it's just, I'll use hickory on the pork a lot, and or not pork, on the beef a lot, and on chicken. Because I like the hickory smoked chicken flavor. And then on the pork, I use apple and cherry. And then I have pecan that I will use on, pork and chicken.
Okay.
I also have, I forget what all I have. I've got quite a few. But, I just mix it up. It's kind of like, last time I did ribs, I use pecan. This week I'm going to use cherry. It's not really a preferred thing. It's just apple and hickory are my go-tos. Oh, mesquite's the other one I have. I have some mesquite, and I use it on ribs.
Too heavy on me. I think.
Yeah, I like it on pork. That's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and it's kind of my blend of rubs or whatever.
Hey, it's you.
And yeah, it could be me. I'm weird. But I'll try anything though, and just kind of mix it up. I'll do about anything though. Just send it my way. I was actually listening to your other podcast, and you're saying you're having trouble getting certain woods, and you've been using orange a lot.
I've been using orange a lot.
I'm going to try that.
The hard thing is, in Chicago, because I live in the city. For you listeners that don't know that, I am not in a suburb. I am actually living inside of Chicago. So grilling and barbecuing is just outrageous. I mean, people look at me like I'm psychotic. I get people that will literally, I'll be barbecuing in negative whatever, it'll be negative, 15 degrees here with the windshield going negative 40. My egg's holding 225 and I'm out there with a beer and it's great. And to them, they're like, what is wrong with you? And I've had people ask me, they're like, are you okay? Like, is there something wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm just cooking. And they're like, oh, okay, there's something wrong with you because you're cooking in the cold. And I'm like, no, this is just the method that I choose to cook on, and I'd rather cook on this than anything else. So trying to get certain woods is a little bit difficult. Pecan is not a wood that we get very often here. That is not an easy wood to get. Apple is obviously always available. Cherry is very available. I tend to use black cherry instead of regular cherry wood. And then I use a lot of oak. I like oak wood. And then I'm on my orange kick right now.
I have oak as well. It's red oak, I believe is what I have.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was just looking at my local distributor with wood. There's 26 different woods that I can get.
Ooh.
So, and I have the list right here in front of me. So I can send that over if you need anything. Just
I think I'm going to need that.
Yeah, it's just alder, apple, beech nut, black walnut, white cedar, grape, hickory, mesquite, mulberry.
Grape sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, it says light, great for chicken or fish.
Okay.
So olive, orange, peach, pear. I'm skipping the obvious ones. Persimmon, plum, sassafras, sugar maple.
I've cooked with sugar maple.
Yeah. Tabasco and then the wine barrel stuff. I think, do you have the wine barrel chips?
We can get wine barrel chips up here, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen those at our local Ace. It's various, you can get them by varietals and, you can get Cabernet.
Yeah, you can get almost anything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, obviously you're cooking on 2 different eggs. You're having fun with that. Now, do you ever kind of use one for low and slow and then the other one to cook while you're eating? Or not while you're eating, but while you're cooking? Have you gotten to that yet?
I do, because on the weekends, what we'll do is I'll have my low and slows going because that's usually my food for the week.
Okay.
And maybe it's not very healthy, but I will eat pulled pork during the week for lunch almost every day.
Awesome.
And maybe that's not very healthy, but I need to get my cholesterol checked. But
I'm not a doctor.
I will do. Go ahead.
I said I'm not a doctor. I'm not. The show's not for the. We're not a health nut show yet.
I got confused for a minute. But yeah, I will do that. So I will do the large for the low and slows, and then the mini max I'll do our dinner on, or our lunch, or whatever. And basically because the volume of charcoal you can. I tried to do. I actually did a 9-hour brisket on the mini max, and it worked fine. But it was a 3-pound or a 3-pound brisket.
Yeah.
It was a tiny little thing. You can't fit anything in there. And, well, not a brisket anyway. And so, but yeah, I'll do that. During the week, a lot of times I'll just fire up the Mini Max. Like we said previously, it's just because it's so much quicker.
I mean, like the other day I did beef short ribs, because of you. But, I saw them on your page and I was like, those look so good. And I was at my butcher and I was like, give me a couple beef short ribs. And he was like, really? I'm like, yeah. Like, I got a taste for them. I want them. So, I mean, it worked out really well. And I did those on the Mini Max while I was doing a ham on my XL. And it just worked out great. And I think I did those for like 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
I still had tons of charcoal left in there. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's I've been doing the short ribs on the Mini Max as well, and typically 4 to 5 hours is about where they go. I've tried doing those during the week, though that doesn't work out because then I eat at midnight or whatever. But
and it gets crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's like, I'm in bed.
Yeah, I don't even want to eat. Leave me alone. I want to go to bed. It's like, oh damn it. Okay.
Yeah, I do short ribs a lot because our local grocery stores will carry them in the little 3 to 4 inch cuts. So they're not like the ones from your butcher that's going to be like 7 inches long, like the full, just tons of meat. These are your bargain short ribs.
I guess that's exactly what I did though. With the other day is they had the short ones. They're really like 3-inch cuts or whatever. And they were like, well, how many do you want? I'm like, I don't know. Give me like 3 or 4 of them. And that'll work perfectly.
Yeah. No, I love them. I do those as much as I can. I think they're like for 4 of them, it's like $7 or $8 or something. I mean, that's pretty cheap for a meal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure. And it's just, they're so easy, Now,
are you using any pit temperature control stuff when you're doing your low and slows?
No.
Nope.
I basically just set it. I know exactly where my egg is going to lie when I set it to 250 or 225, and I'll just kind of watch it throughout. And that's another thing. During the weekend, I'm here, or I'll go run some errands, come back and check it again, still at 250 or whatever. And so I don't really have anything that regulates it. I don't try to do anything overnight. I don't get up super early to do anything. It's just, I'll get up on a weekend at like 9:00 and throw it on, and it's done when it's done. And, But no, I don't have anything. I did just order some, ambient probes for my iGrill 2. And I got 2 of those. So I'm going to have one for each egg. And then the iGrill 2 will be the one that, sends it to my phone. And, so that, that'd be another way to kind of check it.
If you can, tell us a little bit more about that. I am super interested in the iGrill 2. I haven't gotten one yet, and I'm looking into getting it. Give me plus minuses, yes, no. Do I go for it? Do I not?
You know what? I am in pretty close proximity. It's Bluetooth, and so you are. What?
That's going to crush my soul.
Well, and if you are, too far away, it's going to cut out on you. You're going to run into problems. My house is 70 years old, and the walls are pretty much concrete. So when I go inside, I lose my signal. And that's kind of the negative that I have. Now, on my patio, I'm hanging out, whatever, it works fine. But it is limited to Bluetooth range. The pluses, I like its flexibility because the iGrill 2 has up to 4 probes, and so it comes with 2. And then, you can put one in one piece of meat, one in the other end or whatever, or in 2 different cuts, and then give you 2 different temperatures on whatever end. So I kind of like that. And then I ordered the 2 ambients, so it'll do up to 4 on the iGrill 2. So I'm going to have basically I can be able to tell the ambient temperature inside each egg over Bluetooth to my phone.
Perfect.
So that's going to be kind of nice. I like using it. I have an iGrill Mini as well, which is a 1 probe little guy, and it works really well too. I use it, just mix it up. If I only need 1 probe for a little pork tenderloin or something, I'll use it. If I need, say for a brisket where you got to check the point and the flat, there are 2 different temperatures a lot of times. I'll put one in one end and one in the other. The same with the pork, but that's on the bone end. I'll put one by the bone up towards the middle, and then I'll put one on the other end. And you can kind of gauge where you're at based off of the 2 different temperatures. Yeah. And, I think it's pretty handy. You could always, if you don't have one, just go in there and just poke around with the probe and see where you're at. If you have I have a Thermopin too. If you don't have one of those, go buy one.
Yeah.
A Thermopin is a must-have, I think, for anybody that cooks on any type of grill.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Or of some site. It doesn't have to be a Thermopin. Just any kind of
instant read thermometer.
But I really like my Thermopin. Just to say that. I live by a hospital in case you hear any sirens here.
That's okay. We live right by a fire department. So
yeah.
My bedroom actually faces that, and we hear it all night long.
Luckily, we can't hear it inside. But no, I really like the iGrill too. I'm curious to see how these ambient probes work, so I can kind of just keep an eye on things, because that'll limit my trips inside, outside to check the temp all the time.
See, that's my that's kind of why I wanted the iGrill 2. I wanted to be able to know my temp without having to run out there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't always hang out exactly by my cooker. I don't. It's about 150 feet away from my house.
Yeah.
So, I think it's funny when some people tell me, they're like, "Oh my God, it's 150 feet away from your house. What do you do?" Well, it's sitting in a table, and I have the XL, so that roughly weighs 300 pounds plus the table. I mean, if you can get it out the door without anyone noticing you, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. Like, if you're that, if you're that determined to steal my egg.
Are you hauling Mini Max inside then every day?
Yeah, the Mini Max goes back and forth, which is not the easiest. Yeah. Not the easiest thing in the world. Thing is heavy for as many people are like, oh no, it's really light. Yeah, it's really light for like 15 feet. And then after 15 feet.
Yeah, it's 63 pounds, I think is what it is. And then plus
I thought it was more.
I think on their website, I think it's rated at 63 pounds. And then if you throw a cast iron or a plate setter, and then which a plate setter doesn't weigh very much, but
I got the cast iron.
I think that's what they rated it as. Was 63 pounds on the documentation that came with. I think maybe. I can't. I don't know. I saw it somewhere. Yeah.
It's just insane. It is. It's and I feel like even though it has those nice handles, like it's not the most balanced thing to carry in the world.
Because the spring on the back for the hinge for the lid, it throws the balance off of it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it kind of tips a little bit when you carry it. So I've noticed that. I don't know.
I got mine. Yeah, I got mine. Especially like I want to be able to travel with mine. Go places and bring it with me. My wife's family is from southern Indiana, and they don't have an egg down there. So I kind of got to bring it with me. And I figure if I bring that one with me, someone will buy one.
There you go.
I know I already have her stepdad looking into them. He's like, oh, I really like the egg. I'm like, yeah, you need one. Let's get you into it. Let's push you.
I told my parents to get one, but I don't know. They're not buying it.
They're not buying it?
They like their propane grill.
Now,
quick and easy.
What made you go to the egg? What made you say, you know what? I'm done with propane. I'm done cooking on that, and not saying that you're completely done, but I want to switch to cooking on charcoal, and I want to switch to a Kamado style cooker. I want to start doing that kind of stuff. Like, what made you do that?
Well, I wish I could go back and I was thinking about that the other day, kind of prepping for our podcast here. I was thinking about all these various things, and I don't even really know, other than I just have always wanted one, and I had the means to get one. And so I was like, here we go. I'm all in. And it's just when I had a few friends. Really, it wasn't really on my radar. So if there was a community around my town here that was talking about eggs, I wasn't involved in it. So I had no idea. I had just one guy, a friend on Facebook, that had one. And I was like, that is so cool. And he showed it to me one day. And then he got a second one. I was like, man, and then they started cooking all these pizzas and this and that. And I think, that kind of in my subconscious, I was like, I need to get one of these things. And I just had the means. It happened. And there we go, and it's, life changed forever.
The rest is history. He got an egg, and it went up. Everything went up.
Yeah.
Now, was the XL out when you got your egg? I can't remember. When did that thing come out? Yeah, it was. What made you go to the large over the XL?
Just money.
Okay.
It was, $300 or $400 more or whatever.
It is
for the XL. And so I just, I didn't feel like I needed it. Every now and again, I think I want one, but you know what? I really think
the wife will kill you if you buy one.
Well, that too. Yeah, she wants to kill me anyway. But no, I think the large is the perfect size just for everything that you need. Now, the biggest thing I'm going to do is a brisket. I guess if I wanted to do 2 briskets, I could obviously get a 2-rack, also a 2-tier. But it's more like, this is kind of my budget, and this is what I'm buying. And then the Mini Max is a perfect accompaniment for it. And then I've seen a lot of people online with this setup, a large and a Mini Max. And so I feel like it's like the perfect pair, or an XL. I would love to have an XL, but
it takes a lot of charcoal, man. It does.
I saw somebody, I think it was yesterday on Instagram, that has a large and an extra large, and they put their kick-ass basket, hard to say, from their large into the XL. And it was so much extra charcoal. Oh, I was like, oh my God, that would take so much charcoal, and I'm good.
I will say though, I don't know how I lived without my kick ash basket.
Yeah.
I'm already getting on. I'm texting Chad about when is he putting out the Mini Max? When are you putting that one out? Because I'm on the.
I want that. I
want to be on the pre-order list.
Well, that's going to have to be another one of those flat ones like the XL, and so I would be all for it. I would think that it would be kind of. Interesting because everything would have to sit so directly flat onto the iron grate into the bottom. There's no bowl down there really, and so it'd be interesting to see if because Chad wants you to use the iron grate below your kick-ash basket, and so I'm curious to see how that tests. With that sitting directly on that grate as it is. But I don't know. I'm all for it. I love it.
But you might be able to take out your iron grate since that kick-ash basket is going to be so much smaller.
Yeah,
it may be able to hold that heat, and I understand why he's saying it. Especially
it gets in the large. It gets way too hot. Yeah, if you pull the iron grate out of the bottom, it burns up the metal a little bit quicker, which I've experienced. I'm a rule breaker, but yeah, I love that product, man. It's so cool. I got mine actually from Craig last
year?
October at the Eggtoberfest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the kick-ash basket, it's awesome. The thing's awesome. I love it.
I think everyone should have one.
Me too.
So,
and if you guys are listening out there, guys, it's kickashbasket.com. We're not crazy, I promise you. Both of us are not crazy. We're not pushing it because we don't believe in it. We're talking about it because I honestly believe in the product. I think it's an awesome product. I don't know. I'm mad that I didn't think of it. It's so simple and it's so easy, and I wish I would have thought of it, but I didn't. So I'm going to back Chad up. Chad's a great guy.
I agree.
Now, what kind of cooks are you about to do this summer?
Oh gosh. You mean at home or out and about?
Let's talk about everything. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to share.
I don't really I don't see myself doing anything kind of crazy. We're going to have some parties at home coming up pretty soon, and I always see those as kind of a way to kind of show off a little bit. And we had one last fall, and it was a make your own pizza party. And I had the egg set up, screaming hot, and basically I cooked pizzas for 25 to 30 people all night. And I just sat at the egg. They brought me a plate with their handmade pizza that they made. We had the pre-made doughs. We had probably 20, 25 different ingredients, just whatever you could think of. We just went all crazy on it. And they would just make their own pizzas in the kitchen, bring it out here. I'd cook it. They'd be done since it was, the egg was about 600-700 degrees.
Yeah.
And
it was done in a couple minutes.
Yeah, they were done in 5 minutes or less, and so that was one thing that we did. We'll probably do something like that this spring. Crazy, just party theme type things. Maybe have people bring their own food. I'll show them how to cook it, that kind of stuff. I'm like always a salesman trying to get people to buy an egg.
Classes.
Yeah. Now some of the other stuff, kind of in the works is. I'm going to help Matt Pittman coming up. I'm going to be helping him at the Red Dirt Music Festival in Tyler, Texas in May. I'm going to drive down and help him in that competition.
Awesome.
Just going to assist, just whatever he needs, just kind of just had an extra hand, I met with my local distributor tonight, actually, before our podcast, and they actually want me to cook at a KCBS event in a couple weeks here in my town. So I'm going to be, it's a Big Green Egg sponsored event, team, I should say. And so they want me to help cook. It's going to be, full comp. So my first one really to be on a competition cooking team. So I'm going to go in and help them. They need some help, getting it done. So I'm going to do that.
You're going to be using all meat church rubs?
No, it will be. It's since the team is sponsored by Big Green Egg, it will be the
Big Green Egg rubs.
Yeah, the Dizzy Gourmet, I believe. So, unfortunately, but
I know you're a meat church guy. I know you are. And so am I. I recently ordered all of them, and I dig them. Holy cow!
Yeah.
I mean, no pun intended. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
What can I say about you can't say bad shit about that, like, at all. There's nothing bad to say. Like, I was like, okay, everyone's ranting and raving about it. And I was a little bit nervous. To try it for the skeptical reasons of everyone's ranting and raving. And I don't want to be let down. Like, I didn't know if I maybe put them up on a scale. Do you know what I mean? Like when you hear all this stuff, you're like, oh shit, yeah, I want to go try it. And then you go try it and you're like, are all these people crazy? Like,
yeah. And it kind of came out of nowhere too. And, I love the stuff and, Matt and Craig and I talk all the time and I love promoting. I want to get it out there and I've given it to my brother-in-law and family members. And it's like, here, just try it, see what you think, and and I just, and it's Matt's a great guy. And I just, I just love the product. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it goes great, and there's so many varieties now, and I mean, there's something for everybody, Yeah,
absolutely. He's got the fajita rub, which I haven't tried yet, but I just picked up, and I was super excited. I actually ordered what was it? It was the 5-pack, right? It was the 5-pack when he threw it on sale. I ordered that. Not because I was being cheap and I didn't want to pay full price for it because it's totally worth it.
I do that.
It was just literally at the time that I was like, I need to reorder. Shit, it's on sale. Perfect, done. Let's pull the trigger.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
And then it literally, I was like, really? He put out the fajita rub 2 weeks later or whatever it was. And I did an egg demo up in Wisconsin with Chad from Kick-Ass Basket, and I did
saw the photos.
Yeah, so we did that, and they had the fajita rub. I was like, done, give it to me.
Yeah,
let's go. I'm taking it. Haven't cooked with it yet, just because I've been super busy with work and traveling and doing all that crazy shit. But I am excited. I'm excited with it. Now, I may or may not have just a little bit. We are reconnecting with him. This is the problem. There is a really big storm actually flying through Chicago currently. So I am going to see if we can't get him back here and go from there, guys. Give us Tim. There we go. Hey.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Awesome. He's back. So there's a really big storm flying through Chicago. I can actually start hearing it. I'm hearing it hit stuff. And I think that's why we might have lost connection. But
we were supposed to get a storm tonight as well. Luckily, it has not hit yet.
Looks like it's missing you and hitting me. So
yeah.
I won't take too much more of your time up. I know you guys, it's getting kind of late, and we'll just kind of wrap it up pretty quickly. What is your favorite thing to cook?
I think the short ribs is probably one of my favorite things. I do those quite a bit. I feel like I do a pork butt about every weekend, just because of the versatility of it. You can use it in so many different ways. I'll put it in tacos or I'll put it in a sandwich, throw some barbecue sauce on it and, just go. So that's one of the things that I've probably cooked the most.
Awesome. Now, if you can give me 3 tips on barbecue and make 1 tip cooking with the egg. So
3 tips on barbecue.
3 tips total. one has to be about cooking with the egg.
Well, the 3 tips would be, I just think that you have to know how the egg works first. It's if you don't know what you're doing and don't know how to regulate your temperature, you're not going to get anywhere. So I think just as a tip for especially for the new egg owner is, just learn how everything works, and and then everything will kind of fall into place. The one of the other tips is, clean out your egg frequently. Every week or so, every 2 weeks, take that thing apart and wipe down the insides and get rid of the excess ash everywhere. That's really important just for airflow and just the health of the egg. And then, barbecue tips. I freestyle, feel like, it's like every time I do it, I do something different. I'm always doing something different every time I cook. And, I would just say, buy some meat church rubs. That's your tip right there.
But come to the church. Come to the good side.
Yeah, take me to church, right?
Exactly.
There. Every time you hear that song, just say meat church, meat church.
I am actually going to be. I'm excited. I will be talking. I've been talking to Matt via email, and we are going to be recording a podcast together. So
cool.
I will have Mr. Pittman on the show. I don't know exactly. I'm still looking at airing times on when this one's airing and when that one's airing. Whatever. They'll probably be airing right around the same time. So we will be having the man behind the crazy rubs on the show.
Yeah. And he I emailed you about this the other day, and I don't know if he wants to reveal it or if I should say anything, but he's working on another a little demo, or another it's in R&D right now.
Yeah, I know. We've seen a little bit of you posting on it. I've seen a little.
Well,
bit
that's a different one. This is something else, unless he's not telling me something. But he mentioned that he's working on a bacon type rub.
Ooh, he hasn't told me anything about that yet.
Yeah,
maybe we'll talk about it on the podcast.
What do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to tell Mikey in this interview? So he said a bacon rub's in the works, and so the one that Craig and I are working on, and Matt will send us stuff all the time just to kind of try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work or whatever. Just what are our suggestions and stuff, and that's a different one. That the Mo Beta.
The Mo Beta?
Mo Beta. Missouri Beta. So,
there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, that'll be exciting. I can't wait. I've been waiting for tomorrow morning to see what your next podcast is going to be. Every Thursday morning, right? Every
Thursday morning, guys. Every Thursday morning. That's awesome that you're...
Weather permitting tonight, of course, right?
No, it will come up tomorrow. Don't worry. It will. It's already... the way that we do our website is I already have it ready to post, and it just posts it automatically at 3 a.m. so that cool. If anyone's on the East Coast or on the West Coast or anything like that, you get it at 3 a.m. Eastern time, actually. So cool. It posts, then it gives it a little bit of time to get to iTunes. You know what I mean? Let iTunes pick her up, and 6 a.m. whatever, you're going to work. Let that phone download it and head on out the door. Personally, I don't get up at 6 a.m. ever for anything. I have a job that allows me not to do that, which is great.
Well, see, I'm in marketing, and we do a podcast as well, and I do very similar things that you're talking about. Do you use Stitcher as well? Do you upload Stitcher?
I'm working on getting on Stitcher. I need to do that.
Yeah.
And when I say I'm working on it, I need to actually go to Stitcher.com and just sign up. Yeah. It's just being so busy.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, I know. And that's how you get the Android users.
Yeah, and that's what I got to do. I got to get on Stitcher.
Into the mix.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm ingrained in this kind of stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally get
Yeah.
you. Tomorrow, obviously this is posting way after tomorrow's, but we are going to be talking with a pit maker, a pit builder, which is pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
So
Very cool.
We had a cool conversation with him, and we got a lot of cool podcasts coming up. A lot of cool ones are in the works, and
I've subscribed and given you 5 stars. So.
Oh, dude, thank you so much. You guys hear that? If you guys could help us out, if you could go to the iTunes page, help us out, subscribe, give us 5 stars, tell us if you like the podcast or not. Obviously, it helps us out, getting cool people like Tim on the show. If you don't follow Tim, how can people follow you on Instagram? Give us everything.
It's basically I am just everywhere online with the same handle. I've set those up years ago, and it's T as in Tom or Tim Shelburn with my last name. So T Shelburn, pretty much everywhere. Facebook I kind of keep on the private side. I don't really open that up more, to public. I do have a daughter, and so I don't really go public there. But everywhere else, Twitter, Instagram, I'm everywhere. You can probably find me. I am going to get a website going here pretty soon. I'm going to start, posting some of these cooks that I do. Just another place to get my face out there. Maybe some recipes. I don't really follow recipes, more or less. I just kind of just do things, and they always turn out amazing. I don't know. I'm just awesome, I guess. But
yeah, you are. That's kind of how I cook. A lot of people are like, "Oh, what's your recipe for this?" And I'm like, shit. I took this, I put it into this, I left it for a while, and then I added this, and they're like, how much of that? I'm like, it looked right.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I will go to a recipe to figure out ingredients for something, but I don't really measure everything. You just know. It's like I've been cooking for so long. You just know how to put stuff together. And, half the time I just kind of throw something together. It's like whatever's in the kitchen,
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. So, but yeah, I'm very glad you didn't ask me about my lighting tips. So I'm not going to divulge any
no secrets going there
of my Instagram photography. Yeah,
that's okay.
So
I believe I asked you a while ago for your lighting tip, and his lighting tip was get good lighting. So
yeah.
that is your lighting tip, people. Get good lighting.
Yeah, bright lights.
Bright lights work really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, perfect. So that was our podcast, guys. Thank you. Tim, thanks a lot for being on it. Obviously, I will give you the release date and all that kind of fun stuff once everything goes through. So there we go. That was, that's the podcast. Thanks a lot for being on it. Well, that was the show, guys. I hope you enjoyed me and Tim's chat. So till next week, guys. Talk to you guys soon.